All right, let's dive right into this. Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're unpacking the hidden logistical magic behind Central Texas and specifically Austin's explosive growth. Every massive music festival, every high-profile parade, and those complex construction projects popping up everywhere, they all start exactly the same way, with an empty lot or just a stretch of open road. We usually only ever see the finished product, right? But today, we're looking at the foundation.
Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the concept of invisible architecture, then tackle the efficiency paradox, securing the perimeter, supporting the human element, building the command center, and finally, finding your local site partner.
Section 1, the invisible architecture, the hidden foundation of Austin's growth. Now, Austin is a city totally defined by its velocity. We host world-class events like South by Southwest that seem to just magically appear out of thin air. But, spoiler alert, there's absolutely no magic involved. It's all about what we call invisible architecture. We're talking about a highly complex temporary web of security, sanitation, and site management infrastructure. It's exactly what allows urban development and massive events to operate safely without causing any permanent degradation to the landscape. It's a seriously strategic operation. But here's the catch. Setting all this up comes with a massive trap. We call it the multi-vendor nightmare. Think about it. If you hire 5 different niche vendors for your fences, toilets, dumpsters, and storage, you're getting 5 different invoices, conflicting delivery windows, completely diluted accountability, and honestly, a huge risk of total site gridlock. On the flip side, the single vendor solution changes the game entirely. You get consolidated billing, synchronized deployment, seamless integration, and just one dedicated point of contact. Makes sense, right? Which brings us to Section 2, the efficiency paradox. Escaping the multi-vendor trap. So escaping that multi-vendor trap is absolutely crucial if you want to lower costs and strip out the administrative friction from your project. You really need a unified procurement model. And that brings us to a pretty impressive number, 40. Viking Fence and Rental Company has over 40 years of experience serving as that single, synchronized site services partner. For over 4 decades, they've basically been the silent veteran behind the scenes in Texas, taking all that chaos of juggling multiple vendors and just consolidating it into one streamlined solution. When you actually have a consolidated partner, they deploy assets in a highly systematic, chronological timeline. It usually looks like this. Phase 1, on day 1, is all about perimeter establishment. Then Phase 2, day 2, brings in personnel support. Phase 3 is setting up command and control. And finally, Phase 4 locks in the operational flow. It's honestly like a beautifully choreographed dance.
All right, Section 3, securing the perimeter, establishing the safe zone. Way before a single piece of heavy equipment is even delivered, establishing a clear boundary is your absolute first layer of risk mitigation. You have to keep unauthorized people out and protect the public. But here's the million-dollar question. How exactly do you secure a paved venue or a super-sensitive park grassland without completely destroying it? Because traditional fencing means digging holes and pouring concrete, which is destructive, time-consuming, and just a total nightmare to clean up when the project wraps. Well, the answer to that is the Viking Bigfoot. This thing is a radical no-dig solution. It's a highly specialized, really durable steel freestanding base system. It securely supports robust fence panels without requiring a single inch of ground penetration. No concrete whatsoever. That translates to 0 holes, massive labor savings, and absolutely 0 site remediation costs when the fence finally comes down. You literally just pick it up, pack it out, and leave the asphalt or grass exactly how you found it. Of course, the right barrier system totally depends on your specific terrain and how long you need that security in place. You've got the Viking Bigfoot panels for those high-velocity, no-dig scenarios. Then you've got your standard temporary fence panels for quick installs and crowd control. Now, if you're looking at a long-term project, you'd probably go with traditional post-driven chain link for high security. You can even add barbed wire as a maximum deterrent or throw up privacy and windscreens to keep the dust down and screen the site visually. Moving right along to Section 4. Supporting the human element, site sanitation, and hygiene. Okay, so once your perimeter is totally safe, you have to secure the biological and operational viability of the project.
A site is really only as good as the conditions for the people actually working or attending it. So hygiene is not just some basic utility. It's a critical retention strategy for multi-day events. Think about it for a second. If sanitation goes south at a festival or a grueling construction site, the entire human experience just collapses. People bounce, morale tanks, and the event's reputation, it takes a massive hit. Because of that, you absolutely need scalable solutions. Viking breaks this down into 3 main tiers. Tier 1 is your standard portable toilets and hand wash stations, the real workhorses of the site. Tier 2 brings in ADA-compliant units to ensure full accessibility. And Tier 3? That scales all the way up to luxury restroom and mobile shower trailers. We're talking the absolute gold standard for keeping festival goers or long-term crews feeling refreshed. And supporting all of this are the holding tanks, quietly managing the high-volume waste behind the scenes. Section 5. Building the command center. Space and waste management. This part is fascinating because it shows exactly how raw space transforms into a highly functional administrative hub. When you're on a tight, cramped urban site, literally every square inch matters. You've got standard 20 and 40-foot storage containers offering high-security protection for heavy equipment. Then there are double-door units perfect for cramped sites so you get that first-in, first-out access without burying your gear. But the real game changer is the 40-foot office and storage combo. By giving you a climate-controlled office on one end and a secure equipment vault on the other, it maximizes spatial efficiency for those high-density areas. But hey, a command center can't exactly function if it's buried in debris, right? Efficiently managing site integrity and removing waste is a critical safety issue. It's not just about looking neat. In the initial phase, you'll want to deploy smaller 10 and 12-yard dumpsters to handle dense stuff like concrete and dirt. Moving into the renovation phase, you step up to 20-yard dumpsters for mid-range sorting. Then, during the vertical phase, you scale all the way to 30 and 40-yard dumpsters for the bulky stuff, like wood and drywall. And finally, for the traffic interface, you deploy heavy 32 and 42-inch water barricades to keep external flow completely safe. And finally, Section 6, your local site partner, hyperlocal expertise. Look, everything we've talked about today, the rapid deployment, the synchronized logistics, the sheer scale of the operation, none of it means a thing without hyper-local Texas know-how. The physical logistics might be made of steel and plastic, but the actual execution relies 100% on the human element. Just looking at some verified client reviews, you hear things like, Christy Beck is awesome, pays attention to every detail, or Jose Turan was patient and very informative. Having those dedicated, real people who actually understand the unique regulatory and environmental demands of the region is exactly what keeps that invisible architecture truly invisible. And it's wild when you see how far that local expertise actually stretches. Their Central Texas reach is massive. We're talking the entire core metro area: Austin, North Austin, Round Rock, Pflugerville, Cedar Park. Then out through the huge growth corridors like Bastrop, Buda, Kyle, Dripping Springs, Manor, and Hutto. They even have an extended reach all the way out to San Marcos, Temple, Killeen, and Georgetown. They literally have the fleet and the footprint to be wherever the growth is happening. So it all really boils down to this. Temporary infrastructure provides the essential framework for our state's vibrant future. The next time you're driving past the new high-rise going up, or you're walking through the gates of a massive festival, take just a second to notice those panels, trailers, and containers. They are absolutely the unsung heroes of urban evolution. As we wrap up this explainer, I want you to think strategically about your next venture. Are you going to get stuck in that multi-vendor nightmare? Or are you going to build a seamless, efficient foundation? Seriously, what will the invisible architecture of your next big project look like? If you're ready to secure your site with a truly professional, local partner, you can easily connect with Viking Fence and Rental Company. Hit up their North Austin branch at 512-515-9967 or the Mustang Ridge location at 512-837-6411. For statewide inquiries, dial 1-800-252-8117 or just hop online at rentviking.com and grab a quote directly at rentviking.com/Austin. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and hey, happy building!